music. He's like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 and music. Love, love.
Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. This is my review for Season 1, Episode 10, the season finale of 911. I love this little show. It was a new show. Excuse me. Y'all know I love Angela Bassett, and it's like 2:15 in the morning, so I'm a little loopy. But it was a really good show. It was surprisingly refreshing, because you have all these other cop shows, firefighter shows, ambulance shows, doctor shows, just shows, and this one was a breath of fresh air because of how the stories were told, because of how the characters intertwine with each other, and even how each episode is about these crazy 911 calls that each responder in their own right get. So I love what they did with this series. I'm very happy that Angela Bassett is on here. I also like Connie Britton, the lady who plays Hen. I can't think of her name right now. I think it's, but she's a popular actress as well. And even the characters who play, Bobby, Buck, Karla, the nurse for Abby's mom, Chimmy. I like everyone. Even people were saying, well, how is it that, because someone commented today and said something like, oh, lipstick up today. I forgot I did it already. Lipstick up today is Echo. This is from Sephora, and it is Kat Von D. Yes, so I like it, and this is the color in case you can't. So yeah, but yeah, someone commented today and said something like, "Why is Angela Bassett's husband the only Rockman Dunbar, the only black man on the show, and he's gay?" Well, because sometime in life, I can't find it. I don't feel like pulling my phone out to look for it. And because sometime in life, there is only one black man in the area, and he may be gay. But, it is what it is. So we see the episode start off, and, Abby's mom has passed away. So we see her at the funeral, looking kind of, saddened. We see her go home. We see she throw some flowers away. And then she just starts getting her house back in order. And I'm like, what did she do today at the funeral? Like, what's going on? So it was kind of like a montage of things. And we see how she is getting the bed out of the dining. Because remember, her mother, who was living in her house, she made her dining room her mother's bedroom. So she's getting the hospital bed out of there. She's making her dining room back into a dining room. And Buck is there with her, of course. I like her and Buck together. Some people don't like them together. They think it's weird because he's younger and she's older. I don't mind that. You know what I'm saying? I don't date younger guys. And I don't like older guys either. You can't be more than 5 years older than me. I'm weird like that or whatever. So I don't mind their relationship. And it's cool to see him by her side. Her saying how she kind of feels like she does not know who she is. And then when she, cleans out her dining room, she says, okay, yeah, it's back to being the dining room. And she kind of breaks down crying because she's like, well, damn, it's back to me the dining room because my mom's dead. And she kind of cries into Buck's arms. So that is very, very sad, of course. We do see Althea, and it was Athena, Chim, and Hen, who responds to a 911 call. So the wife called 911 saying, my husband's going crazy. He's going bloody insane. It's this British woman. She's mad because her husband, she's locked herself in the bathroom. And she's like, he's trying to break the door down. He's trying to get to me. You have to get here fast. He then calls. I'm like, is something white on my lip? I might have just wiped my lipstick off by mistake. Because I did just put it on. The husband also calls 911, and yeah, it gets real. When I have to put lipstick back on, because I hate when it looks weird, and it does. I don't know what I did. And then my battery on my phone is low. This is what I get for doing stuff late in the day. But y'all know, I done had this lipstick on for the past 2 or 3 reviews, so it is what it is. Anywho, so the husband is also kind of calling 911 because he's like, something's wrong with my wife. She's locked herself in the bathroom. She's going stir crazy. I don't know what's going on. Send someone here. So the wife was saying, he's trying to get me or whatever. It was weird. And he's like, she threw a picture frame at me and I don't know why. It's just crazy. So when they get there, of course, he's at the door trying to break it down. So they move him out the way and like put him in handcuffs. The wife comes out the bathroom. Oh my God, this is bloody this and bloody that. I'm like, watch. I'm like, well, she's British and he isn't. Okay, cool. And he keeps saying like, there's something wrong with her. You don't get it. There's something wrong with her. And they're like, sir, just be quiet. He's like, no, she's not British. And they look like, she's like, I don't know what he's talking about. And she's speaking in the British accent. She's saying all this British, bloody and what the hell, this weird stuff, whatever. And he's like, you know, she just woke up and she started talking like this. It's very, very weird. It's got worse and worse and worse. And Athena ends up figuring out she might be having a stroke because in women, different things happen because she mentioned how she woke up and had a headache or something like that. So I think like, you know, she could be having a stroke. So the doctors, of course, Bobby was there. Bobby was there, and Bobby comes to look at her, and sure enough, she's having a stroke. It's a different kind of stroke, and then they save her. So yeah, cool. So that was the first thing of Bobby saying, you know, thank God Athena was there because she caught the stroke before the lady had, you know, anything worse. You know, we see a scene of Abby and her brother at the house hanging out. You know, Karla's there, Buck is there, and they kind of realize Buck kind of lives there because 1, he's always there. 2, he kind of knows what things on her house, and the brother and Karla like, so he lives here now? And she's like, no, he's just here a lot because he's been helping with things. And like, yeah, but how do you see, you know, you have picture frames in your closet? Like, I mean, but if you with somebody enough and you helping them clean up, you will figure out what's in their house. But she's saying like, you know, it's not that serious. It's okay. He's just here helping out. We do see later her talking to Karla because of course now that mom's dead, I guess Karla has no reason to be there. And so we see her like give her a pair of earrings, and then she finds her mom's passport and she realized that her mother never traveled. She only went to like Mexico for like a wedding renewal or a vow renewal, and how her mom was like just living such a simple life and just like didn't do much traveling. So cool. We see Bobby in the I'm like, why he locking the bathroom door? What he going in there to do? And Bobby was in there Bobby was in the bathroom taking selfies, and I was like, Bobby, what you doing, Bobby? And I'm like, he can't. Oh Lord Jesus, it was just so funny because Bobby's trying to get back into the dating scene. He's on a dating website, and he's actually on the same dating website that Chim had been on before. And you know, he's like, well, yeah, I was told I need to, you know, start getting back into the world and like date a little bit, like just get back out into the, you know, fraternizing with people and strangers and stuff and doing things. So of course, Chim, Han, and Bobby and Buck is teasing him about it, and Buck brings up like, I'm the person here out of everyone who's in the most stable relationship. Isn't that funny? Which is because if you think about episode 1, Buck was the one riding around on a dang on fire truck having sex with strangers. So he has come a really, really long way. And then as they're laughing about it, some random girl walks up like, you have the nerve to ghost me? You haven't talked to me? It's been like days and days or like a week or 2 or whatever, and you just ghosted me and stopped talking to you know, all this stuff. And he's like, what? I don't know you. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So she slaps him because she's pissed off because she's like, we were talking on social media on this little website, chatting or whatever, and you just stop talking to me or whatever. And she's upset. And he's like, I don't know who she is. I have nothing to do with that. I knew exactly what it was. She was getting catfished. You know, clearly. Catfish. But, you know, we have to let it play out. So we later see him on a date with Abby, and another girl comes up. I can't believe you would do this to me. We were talking for 3 months online. You ghosted me, and then I see you here on a date. And she pissed off, and Abby's like, what the fuck is going on here? And he's like, oh my God, not again. She's like, again? So Abby's assuming he's back to his old ways, dating girls, messing with girls, and like kind of just leaving them where they at. Because that's what he used to do. He's like, no, I have no idea who she is. She's like, you know what? I don't even know who I am right now. I don't know who you are. And she leaves and she's a little bit upset. So we then see he goes back to the fire station. He's assuming Chimney is like playing tricks on him. He like, this isn't funny. Abby's really pissed, and he's like, you should close down your MySpace. He's like, who uses MySpace? And he's like, right. So someone, of course, has gotten his profile picture and has made a fake account and is catfishing people, making them think that is Buck they're talking to. So they trace the IP address that he's using to the guy's house. So they get to the guy's house. They're like knocking on the door. He's not answering. And they look in the window and it's like flies and maggots and just stuff. I'm like, oh my God. It's a dead body. He's dead. Okay, he's dead. And they sure enough go in there and it's a guy on the ground. He's dead. He's been dead for like 10 days. Dead as a doorknob. And he is bloated because, when you die, it's just all kind of gas that builds up within the body, especially when it's out in the heat. And it was just really, really bad. And the coroner was like, we can't get him out the door because his body is so bloated. We'll have to like cut the door open. Just all kind of crazy stuff that would like just expose him dead or whatever. And Buck is like, even though he's a piece of shit who catfish people, for me he still deserves respect when he's dying. So you can like release all the gas and all the fluids and stuff and just take him out later. He like, man, look, that's gonna take hours and we ain't gonna go through all that. Buck picks up a goddamn knife and stabs the dead body man in the stomach, which makes some of the juices squirt out. It was fucking disgusting. I was like, ugh. Oh my God, no, ew, no. And he's like, oh, I didn't think it would squirt out. I thought it would like leak out. Like I told you, it takes a long time. So they had to like literally like embalm him and suck all the stuff out just so that his body can get out. I'm like, it was just so disgusting. And then eventually, after they had been there for a while, like stuff was squirting out. It was just really nasty. It was really, really nasty. However, they were able to get him out the house, have his body covered so he can have some respect even in death. So I was just So we do see Athena having to deal with the first weekend or the first week in the house by herself without the kids. The kids are going to spend the weekend with Dad and Dad's boyfriend. So Athena's having a hard time dealing with it. She's doing okay, but she's having a hard time because, again, it's her first time being without her kids. So without her kids and her husband, that's even, because she said, like, it's hard enough being without you. Now I'm having to be with my kids, too. That's hard. Because don't forget, she is forcing herself to accept what he is, not what he is, to accept him being gay and him having a boyfriend and, moving on with his life. And so, she's having to accept that now. So when she's like, you want to talk about it? The kid's like, no, this makes it even worse. Do you need to talk about it with Dad? And the kids are fine. Michael's fine. She said she'll be fine, but Michael feels like we're on our way. To being a more authentic and living our new life. He just happy because he got a boyfriend he can hang out with. So let's say that is what it is. But it is a true thing of them now living their truth. Dad is gay. Dad has a boyfriend. Mom and Dad are getting divorced. We have to kind of get used to these truths in our lives to make it more comfortable. So I thought that was cool. We see Hen and Chim going on a call at a psychic's office, and this Hen just talking about how she does not know if because she cheated on her wife, if she's a different person, if that's really who she is. She just have this whole identity crisis, which everyone in this episode kind of seems to be having in one way or another. Abby with her mom dying, who am I? Buck with the whole someone catfishing me, who are you? Athena, who am I as a single woman with her kids gone? Her gay husband is now she's getting a divorce from her gay husband. Hen with the whole who am I without my wife and my son? And am I a cheater? What am I? So they're having all these like identity crises basically. So they walk into the place or whatever. And it's a man on the floor in the corner, like, okay, yep, he's dead. Dead, time of death, whatever time. And the dead man is looking up saying, I'm not dead. I'm not dead. Someone realize I'm not dead. Don't zip the bag up. So the dead man ain't really dead. He just can't speak. He can't talk. He's basically frozen. But they zip his ass up in the dead man's bag. So it was like he was asleep, but he couldn't talk, and it was crazy. So, you know, we see that whole thing. So later on, we see him in the he's on the table about to get an autopsy, and he's saying, "Please wake up! I'm not dead. Don't cut me open. I don't want to die. I don't want to die." And he moves his hand and he touches the medical examiner, which scares the dog shit out of the medical examiner, who had a chainsaw in his hand to do the autopsy, to cut down the middle of his chest. So when he passes out, of course the saw cuts the medical examiner, but the guy is happy that he was able to move and wake himself up from being asleep before his chest would be cut open. I'm like, that is crazy. He then calls 911, where Chim and Hen shows up, and they're like, "You're the dead guy. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." You know, it's really, really weird. And they tend to the medical examiner, whose leg is cut open or whatever. He's gonna live. And they're like, you're pretty calm for a dead guy. Like, are you okay? Let's check you out. He's like, "Oh no, I'm okay." He says he has narcolepsy and cataplexy. I probably pronounced that second word wrong, but I'm not a doctor. Basically meaning he falls asleep, which is narcolepsy, and the other word, which cataplexy or whatever, is where his heart rate gets so low that it seems as if he's dead, and people assume he's dead. And they're like, "Well, don't you think you should wear a bracelet or like get a tattoo on your chest that says 'Don't cut me open'?" And he was like, "No, I've never done it before." And they're like, "Before?" So he has happened before, and each time I come to, each time I'm not killed, it's like I have a better sense of living. I'm a different person, and I have a better understanding of life. And I was like, that's kind of a cool way to go about life. However, he says he's just hoping it isn't a day where he doesn't wake up in time and he ends up being murdered because he's really just asleep. I would still write a note on my chest saying, "I'm not dead," because you still have to wake up in time. I don't want to chance it. That would just be me. So I'm like, whatever. We do see Hen pop up on Vanessa at the grocery store in the parking lot. First of all, it's a bit stalkerish, but it's your wife, so I'm going to let that go. Anywho, she's going to her to try to say, "I'm sorry," because, of course, Vanessa's not taking her calls. I wouldn't either. Fuck you mean. And, she just said how much. Can I just get 5 minutes? And she's like, "Oh, okay, fine." So she says how much she loves her. Are you and Denny? My ex name was Deanie. That should be a story time. The Deanie days. But anyway, she's like, you and our son mean the world to me. You get me like no one else gets me. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did it. Just please come home. And Vanessa like, "You hurt me, girl. You really, really hurt me really bad. And as she's trying to talk to her, she's like, "You know what? I can't do this. I have to go home. I can't do this." You know what I'm saying? And she's crying. And she's walking to the car. And he's saying, "I love you, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I know. But you loving me and me loving you don't mean that I hurt any less from the betrayal of you fucking that girl. You slept with your son's biological mom, who then tried to sue us for custody. Girl, bye." So we see the guy from, what show is he on? I can't think. He's on another show or whatever with the dude from Married with Children. I can't think of what's the name of this show. I don't watch it though, but it comes like on NBC or something. And it's like a regular dad or whatever. He is in a motorcycle shop. He is thinking about buying a motorcycle because his son thinks it'll be cool. He's like, my wife would be so upset if she knew I was here. I told my son that, I would get a bike and he could see me right at the house and look like a really cool dad. And, I'll be a badass rider. Do you have the bike in red? And so he buys the bike. So, he's riding home or whatever. And a girl is like waving and flirting. And he ain't paying attention. He waving and flirting back or whatever. And an accident happens. And he gets hit by a car. And he literally gets torn in two. To where his body, the top half of his body is like over there. And then like 15 feet away, his legs is still attached to the bike. And he's literally cut in half. And I'm like, bitch. But the top half is still able to coherently have a conversation. because his whole body hasn't realized that he's basically finna die. And of course, everyone, like Bobby is there, Hen is there, and they both see this, and it's very dramatic because the body is literally cut in half. It's just, and he's talking like, I have to get home. My son is waiting for me on the porch. He was waiting for me because I told him I was gonna go buy a bike, and he would see me right up. I have to get home. I have to hurry up. He doesn't get he's dying yet, and as he's laying there, they're saying, we're just trying to keep you comfortable, just calm down. His phone starts ringing, and it's his son calling. And the son calls, like, hey, Dad. He's like, yo, yeah, I bought the bike. It was so cool. I was riding down the thing. I was cool. And he's having a full-fledged conversation with his son. And before he died, he said, I love you, son. And it was as if the last 10 seconds on the phone, he realized someone right, because he went from being very, very happy, go chipper, as if nothing was wrong. So I think his body started, think whatever, and he just died. And the last thing he said was, "I love you, son." I'm like, you trying to make a bitch tear up? You want me to tear up? I mean, look, bruh. It was just, very, very emotional, whatever. Because the last conversation I had with my dad was, hey, Dad, what you doing? Chit chat, or whatever. It was on a Sunday. And the end of the conversation, all right, Dad, love you. Love you too, but, I'm trying to cry. Love you, Dad. All right, love you too, hon. And then that was it. So it was a good thing. It's a good thing when the last conversation you have with a parent who passes away is them telling you love them and they love you. So that was a very great thing. So yeah, he dies or whatever, and Bobby is there when it happens, so it affects him because that's a lot to see. If it was real life, that would be a lot to see. And him and Althea have a little sad conversation. He's like, "I'm sorry, I'm just affected by this." She's like, everyone here is put on a brave face, but we're all gonna go home and cry tonight because this is horrendous. And he then says, you go somewhere with me. And then they go to church, and they have a little conversation and everything, and then they end up praying together, which is a great thing. So we then see Buck go talk to Abby, it wasn't me, it was someone catfishing. We went to the guy's house, he was dead. That's why the girls were getting ghosted, because the guy died. I need you just to believe me. She's like, I believe you. I thought I was going crazy, but I believe you. They hug and kiss, and he looks and he sees his bags packed in her room, and he's like, you going somewhere? And she's like, oh yeah, I was gonna take a trip, I'm gonna go to Dublin. He's like, Ireland? And she's like, yeah. And she goes into the whole thing of, I lost myself, I need to find myself. With my mom being sick, her being here, I lost myself. With her dying, I lost myself again. And before I can give anything to anyone, I need to put back into me so that I have something to give. Like right now, I feel like I'm just empty and I have nothing to give to anyone. And, saying, I care for you oh so much. I really, really do. But, I have to do something for me to give myself something to give to someone else. And, he's like, I'm so excited for you. I'm just as excited for you as I'm sad for me, because, I'm going to miss you. And they hug and they kiss, and it was real cute or whatever. And then we basically see the end of the episode. We see Bobby at the fire station getting dressed for a date, and, Chim helping him, take the tie off, unbutton the button, just, you look like a lawyer, get a little bit loose. And he does, and of course he does look better. Chim is having a party at his house. So of course Bobby isn't coming, and when Bobby walks out the fire station, he throws away his little black book of names of people he needs to say before he killed himself. So it's a good thing to see, that whole suicidal pact he thought he had with God, which was the damn devil. He has let that go because he threw the book away. And then we see his date is actually with Athena, and I was like, I think somebody said that in the comments before, I think they're gonna end up together, something like that. And I was like, but when they went to the church together, I said the date gonna probably be her. That's what it's gonna probably be. And I'm like, okay, I get, they both are starting new chapters in their life. They both, are new people in one way or the other, and they're both in the same way getting back into the dating scene. So it's a good idea. We see Vanessa coming home to Hen. You know, she's walking up with bags in hand saying, you know, don't make me, or don't make me regret this. I promise you I won't. Hen, if you cheat on that lady again, we is not going to forgive you, Hen. So don't do it. So it's cool to see them go back. You know, we see Chim having a party at his house, and that's crazy because you think in the beginning of the season, he was dating that girl who really did not like him. And his home was like not filled with people and laughter. It was like a weird, I don't know, just weirdness. And now he has all his friends in his house there having a good party. And there's a girl there who actually likes him. And it's one of the girls who was being catfished by the man who was acting like Buck. But it looks like she actually likes him. And he deserved that because he damn near died early in this season. We then see Buck drop Abby off at the airport. And he doesn't go in. Like I was always told, you know, you don't go behind the glass doors. I honestly thought he was going to go with her. I'm like, okay, he going to say, I don't have to drop you off because I'm going with you. But he didn't say that. He didn't say, you know, I'll be here when you get back, you know, have fun, enjoy yourself. And then she said, you know, take care, Buck. I'm like, I would say you better be here when I get back. Don't you sleep with nobody. Don't you get nobody in my dick, okay? Okay? Don't you do that. But of course, she told him before, I'm leaving and I don't know for how long. But he like, I'm going to wait for you. I'm like, okay. They kiss and she leaves. So that was the end of the episode. You know, the season is over. They do have a season 2. And I'm happy about season 2. So yay. But, you know, I will not be reviewing 911 anymore until it comes back on. But never fret, because as y'all see, I have all kind of videos and reviews and things that I talk about. So don't be a stranger. Always come back. My battery really, really low now. It's probably at like 5%. But other than that, people, I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Peace.